Hello, and thank you for tuning in to my Medicare 101 video. My name is Steve Hohenwarter. My company is Assets and Insurance Management. We were founded in 2004. We offer retirement income planning, investment planning, strategies to maximize Social Security, annuities, life insurance, disability, Medicare, and health insurance. Today, I'm just going to talk to you about Medicare. The first question I get from most employees is, now that I'm 65, do I have to join Medicare? Especially if you're going to continue to work until you're 66, which is currently the full retirement age for Social Security. The easy answer is no, you do not need to join Medicare. What will happen is, let's say you're 65 and you say to Social Security, no thank you, I don't need you, I'm continuing to work, I have active employer coverage. But let's say you work until you're 66, 67, for example, and you go to the Social Security office to get Medicare because now you want to retire. They're going to say that's fine, but you have to get this piece of paper signed by your former employer proving that you've had constant coverage since age 65. Bring that form back to us, and then you'll start with no penalties. I must say that it has to be active employer coverage, so it can't be a group retiree plan and it cannot be COBRA. To get Medicare, you have to be at least 65, and if you've been on Social Security disability for at least 2 years, you also qualify for Medicare. So I actually have clients that are in their 30s that are on Medicare. When you're looking at Medicare, there are actually two main types that you can have. You can have traditional Medicare with a Medicare supplement and then a separate drug plan, or you can have Medicare with Medicare Advantage. Those are your two main options. I like different pieces of both, so I like to talk about both and let you decide what you think is best for you. So we're going to talk about the traditional layout first, and we'll talk about Parts A and B. Part A is going to be free for most people. Part A itself is going to cover your inpatient hospital stays, your hospice care, your skilled nursing care, so it's your inpatient stuff. There's actually a $1,300 deductible per person in the year 2017. That does change every year. So you pay the first $1,300. Afterwards, you don't pay anything for days 0 through 60. You pay $329 a day for days 61 through 90, and you pay $658 a day for days 91 through 150. And those figures change every year too. Part B costs on average $134 per month per person. Now I say on average because if you make more than $170,000 a year and you file jointly, you're going to pay something higher than $134. It can actually go as high as $500 a month for Part B. I don't see that very often, but be aware that could be the case. Part B itself is going to cover everything outside of an inpatient hospital stay. So it's going to do your doctor visits, your x-rays, your lab work, your outpatient surgery. So it'll even do some medications if they are injected at a doctor's office, just like chemotherapy. There's a yearly deductible of $183, and then afterwards, the government's going to pay 80% of the bills, so you would pay 20% of the bills. That is baseline Medicare if you had no supplemental coverage or anything else. So people will buy a Medicare supplement, also called Medigap, it's the exact same thing, to pay the parts that Medicare does not pay. Part D, drugs, we're going to talk more about that later. That's just drug insurance. That just gives you the card so that you can pay at discounted prices for your medications, or else you're going to pay the full prices. When you're looking at the supplements, they have different tiers of coverage. They have plans A through N. And that's the first confusing thing because you've got Medicare Part A, Medicare Part B, Supplement Plan A, Supplement Plan B. It gets confusing. But the plans are standardized with every single insurance company. So if I say to you, tell me about your Plan F and your Plan F and your Plan F and your Plan F and your Plan F, it's always going to be the exact same. You're just going to see a difference in premiums based on competition, and occasionally a plan will offer a gym membership as well. So I'm going to show you the A through N chart real quick. Don't bother memorizing it because there's really no need. But this is the standardized A through N chart that all the insurance companies use. So real quick, Supplement Plan A is going to cover some basic hospital and doctor visit costs. Supplement Plan B is going to pay that hospital deductible of $1,300 for you. Supplement Plan C will give you some skilled nursing coverage. Now, that's not long-term care. That's short-term rehabilitation to get better than go home. Once they realize that you've plateaued, you either need to have long-term care or assets to cover those costs. It'll also pay that Part B deductible, which is currently $183, and it gives you some foreign travel coverage as well. Plan F is the most set it and forget it. It's got them all checked off. It even has one more thing called Part B excess. And what that means is in some states, let's say you have a $100,000 heart thing, Medicare is going to say, well, no, we're giving you $60,000. That's the Medicare rate of payment. And in some states, the doctors can go after you for a portion of the difference. It's called balance billing. This will pay that too. As you get farther to the right, you start getting these 50 and 75% reimbursements, which most people just don't even care to get into. And not every company sells them all. They may only do A, C, F, and N, for example. So when you're looking at the supplements, Plan F is my most popular. It pays those deductibles, it pays those co-pays, it pays that 20% co-insurance. So if you have a Medicare card and you've got your Medicare supplement Plan F, Medicare pays 80%, supplement pays the other 20%. So when you go to the doctor, you pay nothing, specialist, nothing, surgery, nothing, heart attack, nothing, stroke, nothing, cancer, nothing, chemo, nothing, blood test, nothing. You pay nothing for your medical care. You just end up paying co-pays for your prescriptions, just like you're used to doing now. There's also no networks to worry about. You can be anywhere in the country. If that doctor takes Medicare, they take your plan. So it doesn't matter if it's AARP, Highmark, Capital Blue Cross, for example. It doesn't matter if it's Manhattan Life or Equitable Life or Medico. It doesn't matter. If that doctor takes Medicare, they take your insurance. Here's some examples of some premiums. Let's say you're 65 and you want to get a Plan F. Lowest price for a male right now, $135, female, $125. You can see they're all pretty similar, and they do change all the time. This quote was done January 2017, so in the future these numbers will be different, but it just gives you an example of how similar the pricing can be. So I've thrown a lot of numbers at you, so let's look at the full picture. So you have to have your Parts A and B. So Part A is going to be free. Part B is going to cost, on average, $134 a month in 2017. If you have a supplement, let's say it's a Plan F supplement, $135 for a male, $125 for a female. You have to have a separate drug plan, like I said. So here's a popular plan that's $14.60 a month. So your spouse would have the same plan. So for a male, you're looking at $284 between your A and B supplement and drug plan. For the spouse, $274. So between the two of you, you're at $558 a month. So that gives you a ballpark price as to what Medicare could cost you if you have traditional Medicare with a Plan F supplement. But at least the strengths are that there's no networks, so you can be anywhere in the country. If that doctor takes Medicare, they'll accept you. And there's no co-pays on anything other than your drugs. The bigger weakness is that it definitely has higher premiums than Medicare Advantage, which we're going to talk about next. So here we are back at our main screen again. We just talked about traditional Medicare with a supplement and a drug plan. Now we're going to talk about Medicare with Medicare Advantage. Medicare Advantage plans work a little bit differently in that they kind of wrap together your Parts A and B, the supplement coverage, the drug coverage. They wrap it all together into one plan. So visually, when you're looking at the traditional layout, when you go to the doctor, you got to show your Medicare card and your supplement card. Then you go to get your medications. You have to show your drug card. With an Advantage plan, you have one card in your wallet and you're in one system from beginning to end. So there is no 80-20 split in billing the way you'd see at the traditional layout. Medicare would take care of everything. The Medicare Advantage plan, what I mean. So if you go to the doctor and the doctor wants $138 for the visit, if the doctor's in network, it might be $60 and your copay may be $10. So just like you're used to doing now. They also cover the same types of conditions as traditional Medicare. So if they cover bad hips, they also have to cover bad hips. If they don't want to do a plastic surgery, they don't have to do it either. Other notes, the premiums are generally much lower with the Advantage plans than they would be with Medicare Supplement. There are plans that actually cost you $0 a month. There's no premium to be in the plan. The trade-off is you're going to have a copay for every single thing you do. So if you go to the family doctor, it might be $5 or $10. Specialists might be $30 or $40. Blood test could be $10 or $15. X-ray could be around $35. MRIs could be around $300. Outpatient surgery could be around $380. Hospital stay could be $195 per day for the first 9 days. After that, they don't charge you anymore. With other carriers, it could be a flat copay of $450, whether you're in there 1 day, 3 days, 9 days, 30 days, doesn't matter. So there are several Advantage plan carriers out there, and they all have a long list of copays with very subtle differences. It can be quite hard to tell the difference between all the different companies. The doctor has to be in a network. So with Medicare Supplement, you've got the national network. If the doctor takes Medicare, they accept you. With Advantage plans, they assume you're going to stay in your region for the most part. So here in Lancaster County, every hospital is going to be in network, especially with some of the bigger companies. But for example, Johns Hopkins will be out of network. It actually says right on their website, we are not in network with any Advantage plans at all. So if you wanted to go to Hopkins, you'd have to have Medicare Supplement, for example. The Part B premium is still going to be taken out either way, that $134 a month. So even though Medicare Advantage takes place really instead of Medicare, you're still in the Medicare world, so you're still going to pay that $134 a month. So if you compare the premiums between both concepts, we talked about traditional Medicare. You've got your $134 a month, then you have your supplement, then your drug coverage. In this example, this family came to around $558. With Medicare Advantage, you still have to pay your Part B premium, your $134. Again, there are companies where you actually have zero premium, you pay nothing. The drug insurance is often built into the Advantage plans, not always, but for the most part they are. So in this case, you just have your Part B premium of $134 each. So we're at $558 or $268 for examples of options in Medicare. So let's look at the difference. Why would I pay another $300 a month, $3,600 a year? Am I really going to chew that up with $5 and $10 and $15 copays? And most years you probably won't, but let's look at some examples of that. So let's look at a healthy and an unhealthy person in those worlds. So here's an example. Let's compare Medicare Supplement to Medicare Advantage. So here's a healthy person. And let's say for an individual paying $150 a month. Now I'm not going to add the Part B premium of $134 because you're going to pay that either way. So let's just take that out of the math. So let's say between your supplement and your drug plan, you're at $150 a month. That's $1,800 for the year. And let's say you're a healthy person that hardly ever goes to the doctor, and you go to the family doctors twice, and you get a blood test. In this example, with Medicare Supplement, you don't pay anything. So you have your $1,800 in premiums. You've got no medical costs. So your only cost to you is going to be your premium of $1,800. With Medicare Advantage, let's say you go with a plan that's $0 a month, and you go to the family doctors twice, and you pay $5 a visit. So that's $10 for the year. So you get a blood test at $20 each. That'd be $20 for the year. So in this example, you have no premiums. You have $30 in copays. So your only costs are going to be $30. So the Advantage plans can look very attractive if you hardly ever go to the doctor. Let's look at an unhealthy person. This woman came to me. She had 9 family doctor visits, 4 rheumatologists, 4 foot doctor, 1 gynecologist, 4 gastro, 1 eye doctor, 1 neurologist, 10 physical therapy visits, 16 blood tests, and she spent 2 days in a hospital. In this example, let's say you still had that same $150 supplement plan. You would still pay nothing for all of this care, so your medical costs are still $0, and you still have that $1,800 in premiums. With Medicare Advantage, if you go to the family doctors at 9 times at $5 each, that's $45 for the year. All the specialists at $45 each is added up over here. 16 blood tests at $20 each, $320 for the year. 2 hospital stays, $390. So in this example, you add up all these copays, and you are at $1,830 in copays, but no premiums. Whereas over here, you got no copays, but $1,800 in premiums. So, even in a bad year, you can still do quite well with the Advantage plans. The issue here is that you can sometimes feel like you're really getting copaid to death. I get this call once a year. Harold has prostate cancer. Doctor wants them to come in 30 days in a row at $60 a day. There's $1,800, plus he has to get constant blood tests and constant, advanced imaging, and the specialist wants to keep seeing him. I want to change now. So sometimes, you can feel like you're getting a lot of copays. So if you go with this with Advantage and you're going to save those premiums, know that you're going to have some great years, and you might have a year where you pay a lot in copays. Now, I will say with all these Advantage plans, they all have what's called a max out of pocket. So they add up all these copays. So with most plans, the max out of pocket per person is going to be $6,700 at $6,700. So in this case, if with all of this happening, coming to $1,800, that's nowhere near $6,700. So it is hard to get there. One thing that will get you there is cancer. That's one of those things where, with these Advantage plans, you tend to pay 20% of chemotherapy costs. And so, chemotherapy can cost what? It can be $100, it can be $1,000. It depends, what kind they have to give you, where they have to put it, how hard it is to get it there, how much they have to give you, how often. So, I have clients that, for example, during the last open enrollment, one client came to me with one of these $0 plans. He looked a lot thinner than he did last year. And I said, what have you been going for walks every day? And he said, well, no, I had cancer about 10 months this year. But he said, I wanted to show this to you. And he showed me his bills. And his bills came to $140,000. And he paid nothing for the premiums. He paid his $6,700, and he said, I'm happy. I paid $6,700. I didn't pay $144,000. See you next year. I had another woman. She had 2 really big surgeries this year. Her bills came to $151,000, I think it was. And her co-pays came to $2,500. So I've seen really good stories. I've seen really bad stories. With the Medicare supplement, it's just more set it and forget it. You have the peace of mind that no matter what your year looks like, you're not going to pay anything for your medical care. They can send you to get whatever amount of tests that they want, and you're not going to pay anything. And you can go pretty much wherever you want. I mean, you're pretty hard pressed to find doctors that don't accept Medicare. So that's your 2 main worlds. If you're married, he can be on one plan, she can be on a different kind of plan. They don't have to be the same plan, so you can mix and match. One more example. Let's say that hospital stay went from 2 days to 10 days. Well, now the Advantage plan is costing $3,100 for the year instead of $1,800. So I just wanted to give you an example of what a longer hospital stay would look like. I actually built that Excel sheet to have all the local carriers. So if you want me to run a scenario for you, I can do that. Sometimes, even though the math, looks like, yes, I may only be paying, another $100 a month to go to Medicare supplement, is it really worth it to me? And so I can put in your health history, and I can drop in all the different companies side by side and see which one makes most sense for you. A lot of clients have found a lot of use, found that to be very helpful. We're now going to talk about your drug insurance. What is the donut hole? It's a very common question I get. Well, the donut hole is something you cannot escape in the Medicare world. So whether you have Medicare with Medicare Advantage or you have Medicare with a supplement and a drug plan, this concept is going to apply to you. So this bar graph is adding up all of your medications in a year. So let's say, for example, you take Advair and it's $300 a month, but your copay is $40. $300 is what's going towards this bar graph. So from $0 to $3,700, you're in your initial coverage where you're paying those low copays that you see on your brochures. But if your total cost of your medications gets to $3,700, from $3,700 to $4,950, you used to be on your own. Now you have some help from the government. So it's called the coverage gap. People call it the donut hole, where you pay 51% of a generic drug or 40% of a brand name drug. So in this example, let's say you have a $10 generic drug, 51% would be $5.10. If you have an expensive brand name drug and you pay 40%, you pay $120. This concept is going to go away by the year 2020, and these 2 bands kind of move a little bit every year. They don't move by much. What it's going to look like after 2020, I have no idea. If your full cost of your medications somehow gets beyond $4,950 in 2017, you're now in the catastrophic coverage where your prices will drop way back down where you pay $3.30 for generic, or $8.25 for a brand name drug, or 5%, whatever is greater. So in this example, that $300 drug would be $15, okay? Let's put that into perspective. I've had clients that are on 10, 11, 12 medications. If they're all the cheap generics, they don't ever hit this tier here. I have clients that are on 6 medications and 1 or 2 are brand name, or you have one of those insulins that's very expensive, that's $600 to $800 a month. And what you'll see is your prices will be, kind of low for a while, and all of a sudden in July or August or October, you go to get your medication at the window and your prices have spiked up on you. So that's the donut hole. It's pretty rare to see someone get all the way through it to the catastrophic coverage. Medicare does send you a letter every month letting you know where you are in that tally. So it shouldn't be a total surprise for you. There are different election periods or different times to make changes in the Medicare world. The most common is the open enrollment period from October 15th to December 7th. That's kind of a free-for-all, so that's a time to analyze your plans, make changes. That's what I help my clients do. I call you all in one at a time. I say, here's the plan you have. Here's how it's changed. I think it's still a good fit, or no, I think it's time to move to another plan. If you retire mid-year, let's say you retire in June, and that's when you start your Part B for your Medicare, or if you lose employer coverage, you can also make a change mid-year too. That's called a special election period. Before I can help you with your supplement or your drug plans, I need to see your Medicare card or the award letter that has your Part A and your Part B start dates, and it has your Medicare number on it. Are there fees to work with me? No. Because Medicare is an insurance product, I get a commission from the insurance companies, so I'm here to help you. As you get close to 65, you're going to get inundated with junk mail. You could probably keep your house warm for the winter with the amount of junk mail you're going to receive, and your friends are going to say one thing and your coworkers are going to say another thing. I can help you make sense of all this, and there is really no cost to you, so feel free to call me. And that's essentially Medicare in a nutshell. So again, my name is Steve Hohenwarter, Assets and Insurance Management. You can find me at www.aimadvice.com. If you have any specific questions, you can always feel free to call or email. Thank you very much for watching.